Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I'm chilling, doing a little laundry. Just got all the stuff that I needed to pay these folks here to make sure that I'm securing another week. Very blessed that my family has provided me those funds, man. I am in a very, very privileged position from within my circumstances to have such a blessed family. I wish we all would have that. And from my position, I'm thankful to God for that. Within that understanding, I like to use my voice for things that I feel matter. And while I am very pleased to see so many people come to the understanding that a ceasefire is something we need to be calling on as a nation on this particular Saturday, I am not devoid of the understanding that this was delayed many days. This was understood that this was necessary 7 days ago. The notion that people delay things on purpose so that certain things can get done and then come around to doing what they should have done in that delayed before the delayed time occurred is not lost upon myself. It's not lost. People do that type of stuff a lot, particularly companies when it comes to money. When they're supposed to pay you now, oops, something went wrong. Give us a couple weeks, we'll come back around and we'll make sure that we get it right. I had that happen to me with a cell phone company. I paid double accidentally and wasn't wise enough to check my account to see that had happened. It took me reaching out to them 4 months later for them to come back around and let me know that this had occurred. They could have very easily told me they were surplus in money from my account. They knew that. They knew I ordered one thing, paid twice for it. They weren't going to let me know that until it was either time for me to come back around and ask for something else, for which they were so gracious in letting me know this, or until some delayed point in time in which they thought it would make sense for them to come back around and give me my money. I've seen this happen in other situations as well, where people will wait just as long as they need to wait to make whatever happen, and then they'll pay you. We see it in the stock market with pay to order flow, I believe is what they call it. Well, you'll order something and then they'll delay it while borrowing from somebody else, and then they'll come back around and give you your money. We heard about that type of thing with the situation that what's his name from the Breakfast Club, homeboy, DJ Envy, the partner that he got involved with that just got arrested for his crimes. That dude was delaying stuff. Like, oh yeah, we'll put it off. And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road, when you come back around, he'll write you a check for like 20% of what it is that he actually owes you. That type of delay, that type of nonsense was something that was going on there from what I saw in the documentary about the circumstance. Anytime it has something to do with money, they're going to definitely delay it. So I know the behavior when I see it. And this ceasefire, they delayed that until it was convenient for them to come back around and say, yeah, the uproars it's coming back around. Our propaganda machine, as we gaslight these people for 3 days, as Gaza continues to get bombed on bombed. They done bombed the hospital. They done bombed the bakery. They bombed about 3-4 churches, several homes. It's like 10,000 people been injured, 3,000 people killed or more, mostly children. And now they want to come back around with all these little statements about how Gaza and Palestinian people and Israeli people are equal. They weren't equal 4 days ago when you were delaying the process of a ceasefire, when you were voting against a ceasefire while we were sitting here watching this stuff on our phones. Y'all were giving us the gas like nonsense until you realized we weren't buying it and it wasn't going away. That's when y'all were like, you know what, let's come around and start doing what we know we should, because people are starting to realize that what we're doing is some bullcrap. So let's act like we know what we're doing now. These people are calculated in these actions, man, and I'm not confused. And I want people to understand that. They waited till this many people were dead, this many people were hurt, much property was destroyed, until they want to come around and act like they give a damn. You don't give a damn. You're working your plan, and I'm not stupid enough to think otherwise. The U.S. government is not representing myself when they are enacting their part in this genocide. I speak for many people who agree with me when I say that there was never a question of whether Palestinian babies or Israeli babies should be seen as babies equally, regardless of what skin color or religion their parents are from, or who did what to somebody else, so therefore retaliation is due. None of that had anything to do with them babies as being slaughtered. I have yet to see a Hamas body being pulled out of any of the rubble, any of this stuff. None of it has had them pulling out a terrorist body. I ain't seen one dead terrorist in any of these bombings, man. Any of these bombings. And y'all want to say it's Israeli propaganda, but I'm sensing propaganda from the other side. Sensing. I ain't listening, waiting to nobody. I'm looking at just mass support for what I'm seeing, which is genocide of children. And these people are effective in getting who they're trying to get. That's what I'm trying to express to you. And they're gaslighting us in the process while they're doing so. You know how you say you get your man? When shooters say they get their man, they're getting their babies. They're shooting exactly who they want to shoot. They know who's in these places. They know who they're going to kill when they target these places. That's what I'm here to tell you. I don't think they just, oops, bunch of kids were in there. Oops. No, they know. They know who's in these buildings. They know where they're at in the buildings, and they're effectively hitting those spots to kill those kids. And that's what I think is happening here. That's exactly what I think is happening here. Because what I'm seeing is a bunch of grown-ups coming out of these buildings with babies. And all of these videos, and I've seen hundreds of them. The grown-ups aren't being killed. And if they are, they ain't the ones that's mostly getting killed. It's mostly children. And we want to come around when there's like 2,000-3,000 babies dead at the hands of these monsters. And they come around and say, well, you know, we want to stand for the humanity of everybody. You ain't standing for nothing but your bottom line. And these are the people you're trying to align with, and this is their agenda for the times. And you are cool with it because you see a picture that is bigger than what it is that we're apparently looking at, which is what you can do with the land when all these people are off of it. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very difficult for you to get to that point because we're going to continue to uprise against this nonsense. I am not invested in the conflict. I'm invested in what I'm seeing in regards to dead babies being dead this week. I don't know the history behind Israel-Palestine. I'm learning it, and I don't like what I'm seeing. Depraving people of water alone is enough to condemn Israel. Alone. Depraving people of clean water and pouring semen in their water supply alone is a war crime in my mind. It's a crime against humanity. That right there should have it so that both good Israeli people and good everybody else is condemning the Israeli government for that bullshit. But let's be clear about that. And the hostages and all that conversation, listen, man, Hamas did what Hamas did. I don't know nothing about Hamas. I really don't. The more I learn about Hamas, the less I know about Hamas. All I know is ain't a single dead Hamas soldier being pulled or any of this rubble. And the Hamas soldiers did not kill those two hostages, for which they would otherwise have plenty of reason to do. Why didn't they? Not to say that I want them women dead, I don't. But why didn't they kill the hostages when the other side is killing babies? Nobody can seem to explain that to me. I don't get that. These people are targeting you in places that you're apparently at. They're bombing those places, killing nothing but children. And you release hostages? That don't make no sense to me. None. So for me, I'm just looking at this and saying, man, this is a big staged bullshit war. It's staged. What they're really trying to do is cleanse the world of Palestinian people. That's it. That is all I see there. That's all I truly think is happening now. I understand that there are fake accounts speaking on the pro-Palestinian side. I've seen them. Pro accounts that want to stir up the nonsense for reasons I don't understand. There are pro-Israel sides that have real accounts, that are real people. So it's not a perfect science in none of this. It's a lot of misdirection pointed in both directions. And vice versa, of course, is what I'm trying to say. But what is more rare, what one would think would be rare listening to me, I've seen real Israeli people saying they don't care nothing about babies, and fake accounts saying pro Palestine. I've seen them all. It's all there. It's always a devil in the details of the circumstance, trying to pin people against one another and ultimately get people to want to fight one another over their skin color, over their religion, over this and that. I've been made aware of my own ignorance in regards to tying the state of Israel to a religion such as Judaism. It is not the same. And if I've spoken rhetoric in that vein, I do want to correct it. Because there are people in Israel who are not Jewish, and there are people in Palestine who are Jewish, and it's a lot of different movement in that way. And it's not as simple as saying that Israel, just because they have Star David on their flag, is a Jewish state. That's not the fullness of it. So I'm being made aware of my own ignorance, and I do definitely want to say that I'm growing in the circumstances. I'm paying attention to all of this. But at the end of the day, I care more about the babies that are dying today, man. I don't, like I said, I'm not invested in y'all war, I'm not. I know that people have died over this land for the last 75 years, and I know that the people who are now occupying that land said that was their land 4,000 years ago. I have reasons to believe that that's not even true, based on some of the stuff that I've studied that tell me that they may not be who they believe themselves to be. Plus, in a lot of cases, these are fair-skinned people who can't necessarily do well in the sun. So how could they be native from that place, I ask myself. From what I understand, the number one place in the world for skin cancer is Israel. Skin cancer. As in, the sun is burning these people and they're getting cancer because of it. That's not your native land. If it was your native land, how the hell can you not survive it? Make that make sense. You cannot. You will not be able to make that make sense. At the end of the day, man, I don't care for that. What I really care for is just babies not dying at the hands of armies who are saying they're attacking or targeting soldiers when none of these soldiers are apparently dying. That's what I have a problem with. Depraving people of water, I definitely have a problem with. But as far as who land is what and what we do now, two-state solution, stuff like that has been introduced to me. I listen to Dr. Cornel West. He's running for president. Sounds like he's making sense to what it is I want to hear in regards to this conversation. It's all great, man. All that's fine, bro. But at the end of the day, babies are dying. Seriously. Okay? Forget all that. I don't care whose land it is, bro. I don't care. It belongs to God, man. Figure it out. Seriously. The land belongs to God. It don't belong to no person on it. If it was meant for you to stay in that land and keep it forever, then it wouldn't have been no occupying or nothing. And that goes for America too, unfortunately. It don't belong to nobody, man. People come through, snatch up the land, cheat the people there, kill them off, all that, take over the land, stay there for generations and think they have roots there forever. That's what we've been doing since the beginning of time. And where we all came from, y'all treat like that place has no value while simultaneously taking all of the value from it. Africa. That's where we all really come from, and we treat that place like absolute dirt. Kill off every leader that comes about in these various places so that they have no government so you can continue to plunder from it. That's what you do. Use that place as a toilet while it's worth more than anything else. It's worth more than anything else. People there are discarded of, treated like trash. Shout out to the Congo. It's Congo week. Get knowledgeable about the Congo and the evil that's taking place to those people and the babies that are displaced over there. It is Congo week while all of this is happening, ironically enough. They're committing genocide in Congo. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of Westerners, man, I'm gonna say this with an understanding of what I'm gaining an understanding of, as well as what I've been seeing my whole life. A lot of Westerners agree to the idea that fairer skinned people are just simply worth more than people who are not of fairer skin. Maybe you call it white supremacy or racism, but it's just the same old thing, man, that our babies mean more than their babies in these cases, and the darker the people, the less they matter. That is a manipulatable mindset, and that the people who harbor that mindset don't hold power, friends. You don't hold any power. That is in place to keep you separate, to keep you from not having the knowledge of what it is that ultimately can be benefited from not being that way. That's all it has ever been. A lot of people think that they on the power side, but a lot of y'all who really believe in that are poor. You struggle. The same people who are feeding you that nonsense are keeping you under their thumb. They don't love you no more than they love the darkies. They don't love you. You don't benefit from that. You would more so benefit from the knowledge that you are depraved of by not being that way and making friends with the people that you don't believe are actually human beings. Some of them are geniuses. Some of them have the answers to your problems. Some of them are the doctors that you need. While you agree that others who are above you systematically deprave them of the knowledge that would otherwise make them helpful to you. Some of your problems are in the geniuses that are in these places that are being discarded of. Some of the strongest spiritual energy in the world is in these babies and in these youngsters that you are displacing from their homes in Africa and in Palestine and in various different places. It seems like the most spiritual, most capable, most genius of leaders are often never even grown up to be human beings because they're killed off in circumstances such as these. A lot of people want to say they're pro-life. Not if you can't see what's going on here is a problem. Just because you don't believe in abortion, once people start killing babies that look brown, suddenly it's, well, what about the hostages? That's what comes out of people's mouths. What about this? What about that? That ain't got nothing to do with the mass genocide of children. And so that's where I'm at with it, man. I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it from none of y'all no more. I don't want to hear it from anybody. Whoever harbors the land right now probably gonna lose it to somebody else later on, especially if we keep this nonsense going. This is what it is. Land remains, people move around. That's it. While y'all trying to fight over land and fight over this and get back revenge and all this other stuff, it don't matter, man. At the end of the day, what matters is what's in front of us. And the slaughtering of babies and how we've allowed culture and different ideals and religion and all this stuff to tumble forward to be where we are today, which is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I don't give a damn what religion you got. If it's okay with co-signing this nonsense or it tumbles forward a conflict that's going to make it so that people want to do this nonsense, you need to do away with that. And that's coming from a Christian person. You need to do away with that. If your religion's going to have you feeling like y'all in y'all bag, y'all the best people in the world, and therefore nobody better touch you, and if they do, you're going to hurt children, you got to go away. You're the wrong in the world that we don't want to see. You're the problem. There are good Muslim people in the world. There's good Jewish people in the world. There's good Christian people in the world. There's good atheist people in the world. Good and bad is found everywhere. It ain't as difficult or as complicated as we make it seem in that regard. It's your agreements that make you think you can't get along with somebody because they're different than you. The world is full of merged cultures that have blended over the course of ages and time. That's all it's about. You trying to fight against that or purge against that or wipe certain people away so that you never have to deal with them blending is useless. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. You're never going to purge the world of a certain people. It's not happening. No matter how many bombs you burst off in the air, no matter what you do, all it takes is one person to restart civilization. That's all it takes. Two people rather to restart civilization. That's it. So all these different things y'all trying to do to destroy this, that, and the third, it's utterly useless, man. I keep telling y'all it's useless. Humanity will prevail. People are not NPCs. We're not a bunch of bots. None of that. God exists, no matter what you call him, what his name is. All of that is fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, whatever your religion is, whatever your culture is, it's either going to blend with whatever cultures that are out there, or it's going to be forgotten. That's it. While y'all think y'all the center of the universe, or I think I'm the center of the universe, everybody better support me or else I'm not showing no support for nobody else. That is garbage. That just reinforces the same indifference that ultimately got us here. It's garbage. But did they support black folks? I saw an idiot today on IG about 25 minutes ago. Idiot gonna talk about, I seen a video of Palestinian people calling the black people N-words, so therefore we shouldn't be supporting them. Do you know how many people you didn't see when you were looking at that video? Yeah, you have any idea how many human beings were not in that video? While you sitting up here trying to label everybody something because they didn't support what you want to see, or because they decided to use a word that you don't like, or some stupid shit. People need to grow up, man. That is the very essence of why people don't give a damn about each other right now. It's because everybody's waiting for somebody else to show good while showing no good within themselves. Are you a follower or what? You're supposed to be a black king. You sitting up here waiting for support in order to show support? You have no strength. I'm tired of people like that. They don't represent me in any way, shape, or form. I don't need your support. I'm showing support. That's what you do. Follow me. I don't need nobody else to sit up here and say, yeah, I love him. I love him. No, I don't need that. What the hell I need that for? I can be that for everybody. I can be that for you, and you. And then others who are going to follow me will follow me. Then you'll see what it is that you're looking for in that regard. Then you'll see it. Because I led the way. I don't need nobody else to do that for me. A lot of us sitting up here suffering all these ills is because we don't show love when we're supposed to. It's because when we do show love and don't get it back, we don't show it again. That's weakness. And if everybody follows you, you're going to see exactly what it is that you don't want to see, which is no support for you. Keep saying that. It's not the first time I said that today. But it's getting to a point where it's like, I'm tired of that nonsense. I'm tired of that low frequency. Low frequency. I only want to show support when support's shown for me. If everybody's like that, where's the support? I ain't going to show no support for you. You ain't going to show no support for me. But I'm going to be offended at the fact that nobody's supporting support for anybody. Who's going to take the lead? It's going to be somebody like myself who's going to say, I'll take the lead. I'll show everybody how to support somebody. Stop killing Palestinian babies. And I don't give a damn that some random Palestinian dude was evil. I don't care. Because they ain't got nothing to do with these babies over here dying. They ain't got nothing to do with it. He's part of the problem. Kick his ass. And let's continue to support these babies. That's it. That's all you need to be saying. Instead of saying that's everybody. That ain't everybody, fam. You got some people over here ain't even thinking about you. While you thinking about you. They need help from you. And if you were going through the unprecedented pain that they were going through, that's exactly what you would want them to be doing. Instead of thinking about them and how much support you didn't show them, as you are not showing them no support right now. Get over yourself. Everybody's babies deserve to be supported because everybody's babies can learn what I'm saying and be the leaders that we're waiting for to see within each other. They can be better than us if we don't kill them off. Literally, if we don't kill them off. With our indifference and our low frequency nonsense and our continued devaluing of our own people, devaluing of our own women in various different ways that we do, devaluing of the goodness upon our image as we continue to keep forth the supremacies and the low frequencies and all this other nonsense that reflects poorly upon ourselves. In our groups. We don't love them, they don't love us, we don't love anybody. And our kids end up getting looked at as non-loving individuals who deserve to be attacked by a lot of other individuals who are thinking that same thing. Doesn't work. People get slaughtered because of that nonsense that you continue to relay forward. Enough. Who's going to carry the torch, man? I'm sick of passing the same relay of the same nonsense. Who's going to carry the torch? Lead us into something new. Lead us into an understanding where we get all this. And we're not waiting for people to support me. And then I'm like, all right, now I can support them. If everybody thinks like that, there's no support at all. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing all over the world. People coming to the aid of Palestine. Not waiting to see, well, are they coming to me? Did they come to the side of the black folks on this one? When we needed them, did they come around? Tired of it. So shout out to everybody who's being leaders in that regard, man. Shout out to everybody who cares about somebody else without looking in the mirror and saying, let me see if the support's coming my way. You're selfish. You're part of the problem. So that's what my point. That's my point of view, man. I'm frustrated with what I'm seeing. They keep on bombing these people, and then putting out these this propaganda that's supposed to be supporting the people who are doing the damn bombing, or saying that it's some other people that they supposedly targeting, but then when they do target what they're targeting, they'll never pull none of them people out of these buildings. And that's the part that I can't shake. If I want to believe all that y'all saying about pro-Israel this, pro-Israel that, how come they can't get their man? And I'm not a tactical military guy, so maybe there's a logical explanation for that. Oh, this, that, and the third, and then you did it so you understand why we can't get our man because they hiding behind that. Okay, fine, cool, but still, you're effectively killing children. You're effectively doing that. If the object of the game is to kill as many kids as possible, they winning. They made it to level 30. And I do believe that's the object of the game. That's the point. Not to kill Hamas soldiers. They don't want to kill no Hamas soldiers. If they wanted to kill Hamas soldiers, we would at least see a couple of them motherfuckers come out of the buildings, right? At least a couple of them. Excuse my language, but hey, that's where I'm at with it. You see at least a couple of them. Now that's my president. Where are the Hamas soldiers, bro? You want to support Israel to no end, come back around 5 days after they didn't kill about 3,000 kids, and then say, well, Palestinian people do deserve some aid, delayed humanity. Where are the Hamas soldiers? Why y'all ain't got none of them dudes? And why haven't I heard from them? All this talk about Hamas and their communication, I haven't heard of any Hamas communication in over 4 weeks. I ain't heard nothing since the alleged bombings that took place in Israel that supposedly killed 1,500 people, and the beheadings of the babies that weren't actually beheaded, allegedly, maybe, possibly, could be not proven, even though we coming to got our POTUS getting up on stage saying that that's what happened, even though there's reason to believe it never took place. You want to support people whose truths are iffy as they're killing babies? And see, the problem is when people decide they want to retaliate and stuff like this, so what we've already talked about, we know it's coming. The terrorist attacks that are birthed from this nonsense, traumatized babies that are going to grow up to be mass murderers one day because they want to get back at the Western world for doing what they've done here. Biden's long gone by then. Kamala's long gone by then. Everybody in this position that's not voting for the ceasefire, they're all in their graves by the time that happens. That's the problem. And they know it. They don't get to live to see the horror that their indifference and their allegiances to baby murderers actually causes. But your children do, Western world. Your children do, Israel. That's who has a target on their back because of this nonsense. Kids that are going to be traumatized now that will grow up to be terrorizers later. And you will label them terrorists, but what they really do is just what you're promoting to my people, which is to spin the block. Get back. Ain't that what y'all invest in? Y'all invest in that message, right? We're supposed to be spinning the block and killing everybody that tries to kill our people, right? Right? That's what you're telling us to do by way of your investment dollars in the music and the culture. By way of your no jumpers and all this other stuff that y'all funding. It's about spinning. It's about revenge. The spirit of revenge is what you've been preaching for the last 10 years. To my people. Over it. Over it, over you, if you're doing that. If you're investing in that with your money, sitting in your high rises, giving record companies, money over to people that only want to push this particular ideal, there. I want you to be seen for who you are. It's time to start pointing out you by name. That's what I think. It's time to start knowing who these people are, to writing these checks for the deterioration of the various peoples in these various places. Deterioration of their images, deterioration of their children. Deterioration of their mindset by way of these cultures that you put in place to be cool by every marketing dollar you pour into it. Baby killing nonsense, man. That's all it is. So I'm over it, man. I'm over it. I think most people are over it. I'm glad we're here. Unfortunately, it took this to get here, though. But I'm glad we're in a space where we're waking up. Hopefully people will listen to what it is that's being said in regards to waking up. Hopefully people will understand that you have been invested in regards to your deterioration of your image of yourself. You've been invested in that way. They're taking people from your neighborhoods, people from your circumstances, and putting them in position to reinforce the very worst to the rest of us about you. That is what they do. And I guess we're just supposed to sit here and pretend like it's not happening as we continue to coddle the nonsense. Oh, it's just us. Accountability. Accountability. The only way we can be accountable is to first find the root of where all of this is coming from. Then, once that is no longer being pressed upon our minds every single damn day, by way of the music, by way of what it is that we see that they pay for, then we can start looking at ourselves and saying, okay, now that this propaganda machine is no longer manipulating our brains, how can we unlearn the bullshit? So long as it's continuing to do what it's doing here, it's going to be very unlikely we're able to do what we need to do there. And they know that. People need to be shamed for the evil that they do. For the evil that they invest in regards to trying to force others into evil circumstances too. That is what needs to happen. We need to start finding who this is that wants us to hate ourselves and hate everybody else and only look at who's supporting us as a means of giving support, and all these different ideals that are being put upon us. And we need to start shaming these people for the god-awful baby killers they are. That's what I think. So, I guess that'll conclude my point of view, man. Go back up there and pay this bill, get my stuff out of the laundry, do what I gotta do. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.